In the golden dust of northern Nigeria, a silent war is being fought, not with heavy artillery, but with the power of secrets. Imagine a state where the eyes of the law are everywhere, hidden in plain sight among the market stalls and cattle paths. Jigawa State was once a playground for bandits, but the tide is finally turning. The police have a new secret weapon, the ordinary citizen. But who are these people risking their lives to talk? Jigawa, a land of ancient trade routes and vast savannas, stands as a critical gateway between the Sahel and the Nigerian heartland. Its borders are porous, making it a prime target for those who thrive in the shadows of the law. For years, the silence of the desert was broken only by the sounds of chaos. Banditry and cattle rustling became the norm. Yet, beneath this turmoil, a silent network of courageous men and women began to form together. The Nigerian Police Command in Jigawa knew that traditional methods were failing. Patrols could not cover every square inch of the rugged, unforgiving terrain. To defeat an enemy that lived among the people, they needed the people themselves to act. This is the story of an unconventional alliance that is redefining security in West Africa. It is a tale of bravery, betrayal, and the relentless pursuit of peace in a land that was often forgotten by the world. The Jigawa State Police Command, headquartered in the city of Dutse, realized that the vast rural expanses were impossible to police using only conventional patrols. Commissioner Lawan Adam and his team began to foster a deep sense of trust within local communities. They asked for eyes where they had none and ears where silence once reigned. This shift from reactive to proactive policing meant relying on the very people the bandits were terrorizing daily to provide crucial intel. In the early hours of a humid Tuesday, a tip-off came through. A local farmer had noticed unusual activity in a nearby forest thicket. Instead of ignoring it, he reached out to his contact within the force. This single act of courage led to the interception of a major criminal syndicate planning a raid. The intelligence was precise, timely, and most importantly, it was local. This is how the modern war against crime is being won in Jigawa. Informants are not trained spies, they are the tailors, the merchants, and the nomads who see the world clearly. They notice when a stranger buys too much fuel or when a neighbor suddenly has unexplained wealth. In the bustling market of Jigawa, these small details are the threads that unravel large criminal webs. The police have learned that a well-placed informant is worth more than a dozen armed checkpoints on a lonely, dark highway at midnight. But being an informant in northern Nigeria is a walk on a razor's edge. The risk of exposure is a constant shadow that follows these brave individuals. If the criminals discover who is talking, the retribution is often swift and brutal. Secrecy is the only currency that keeps them alive. The police must go to extreme lengths to protect their sources, often meeting them in the dead of night at remote locations where no prying eyes can see. The police public relations officer, Lawan Adam, often speaks of the success of this synergy. He emphasizes that the police cannot be everywhere, but the people are. When a community decides that they have had enough of the violence, they become an impenetrable wall against the darkness. This partnership has led to the recovery of stolen livestock worth millions of naira and the arrest of high-profile kidnappers who had eluded the authorities for many long, painful years. Cattle rustling is one of the most devastating crimes in the region, stripping families of their livelihoods in a single night. However, through local informants, the Jigawa police have mapped out the hidden transit routes used by these thieves. By anticipating their movements, tactical teams can lay ambushes and recover the herds before they are sold in distant markets. The economic impact of these recoveries is massive, providing a glimmer of hope for the local agricultural community. Every successful arrest is a testament to the growing trust between the public and the police. For too long, there was a gap of suspicion and fear between the two. The police had to prove they could act on information without compromising the source. Now, that trust is paying dividends. In towns across Jigawa, the number of reported crimes is seeing a significant drop as criminals realize they are being watched by everyone, not just those in uniform. The bandits themselves are feeling the pressure. Their hideouts in the deep forest are no longer safe. They find that their movements are tracked and their supply lines are being cut off by the very people they once intimidated. The fear has shifted. Now, it is the criminal who must look over his shoulder, wondering if the person passing him on the road is an informant for the law. The psychological advantage has finally returned to the authorities. It is not just about making arrests, it is about building a sustainable future. The Jigawa model of community policing is being looked at by other states across Nigeria as a blueprint for success. It proves that technology and firepower are secondary to the cooperation of the local populace. When citizens feel like stakeholders in their own security, the results are transformative. The streets of Dutse and the outskirts of Guma are becoming safer with every passing day. However, the battle is far from over. Criminals are also evolving, trying to find ways to identify informants or bribe them into silence. The police must constantly update their method of communication and source protection. It is a high-stakes game of cat and mouse where a single mistake can lead to a tragedy. The bravery of these informants cannot be overstated. They are the unsung heroes of this entire operation, standing firm against the tide of lawlessness. The information provided often leads to the recovery of dangerous weapons. From AK-47s to locally made pistols, the police are sweeping these tools of death off the streets. Every gun recovered is a potential life saved. The informant's role in locating these hidden caches is vital, as they are often buried in remote farms or hidden within seemingly innocent residences. The sheer volume of arms seized in recent months is a staggering reminder of the threat. The police emphasize that anyone can be an informant. There is no specific profile for a hero. Sometimes, it is an elderly woman who notices a strange vehicle parked too long near a school. Other times, it is a young boy who overhears a conversation in a tea shop. This wide net of intelligence makes it nearly impossible for organized crime to take root. The culture of see something, say something is becoming deeply embedded in Jigawa's social fabric. There are also financial incentives for some, but many informants are driven by a purely patriotic desire to see their communities thrive. They are tired of the fear that has haunted their families for generations. They want their children to walk to school without the threat of kidnapping. They want to harvest their crops without paying protection money to bandits. For them, the information they provide is an investment in a much more peaceful and prosperous future. The logistics of handling hundreds of informants require a dedicated unit within the police command. Officers are trained in human intelligence gathering and psychological management. They must be part detective and part confidant. They listen to the fears of the informant and provide the necessary reassurance that their identities will remain protected. This human connection is what keeps the pipeline of information flowing, even when the situation on the ground becomes extremely tense and dangerous. In one notable case, an informant tip led to the rescue of several kidnapped victims held in a remote camp. The police tactical team, guided by precise coordinates provided by a local hunter, moved in with surgical precision. The operation was a resounding success, with all victims brought home safely. This event boosted the morale of both the police and the public, proving that when they work together, the impossible becomes possible and the innocent are saved. The use of technology has also played a role. Encrypted messaging apps and dedicated hotlines allow informants to send tips instantly without the need for physical meetings. This reduces the risk of being spotted and allows for real-time updates during ongoing crimes. However, the human element remains the most critical component. A computer cannot understand the nuances of local village politics or the hidden meanings in a specific Hausa dialect quite like a local person can. Justice is the ultimate goal. The information provided by these locals doesn't just lead to arrest, it provides the evidence needed for successful prosecutions in court. By identifying key witnesses and providing context to the crimes, informants help ensure that criminals are not just caught, but kept off the streets for a long time. The legal system in Jigawa is being strengthened by this influx of high-quality intelligence, making the path to justice much clearer for all. The ripple effect of this success is felt across the borders of the state. Neighboring regions are now looking to Jigawa for advice on how to implement similar programs. The message is clear: the police are not an occupying force, but a part of the community. When the uniform and the traditional robe stand side by side, crime has nowhere to hide. This unity is the strongest deterrent against those who wish to cause harm to the innocent. We must never forget the cost of this peace. Some informants have paid the ultimate price, and their sacrifices are etched into the quiet safety of the towns they helped protect. The police command often holds private ceremonies to honor these fallen heroes, ensuring their families are taken care of. Their legacy is the relative calm that now graces the field of Jigawa. It is a peace bought with courage and maintained with constant, unyielding vigilance by everyone. As we look to the future, the challenge will be to maintain this momentum. Trust is easy to break and hard to rebuild. The Jigawa State Police must continue to operate with transparency and integrity to keep the public's confidence. The informants, meanwhile, continue their silent work, watching, listening, and waiting. They are the front line in a battle for the soul of the nation, and they are winning. The story of Jigawa is one of incredible resilience. As the sun sets over the horizon of Jigawa, the silent watchmen remain at their post. They are the farmers, the traders, and the headsmen who have chosen to fight back with the truth. Their names will never be in the headlines, but their impact is felt in every safe street and quiet night. In the heart of West Africa, a new chapter of justice is being written, one whisper at a time, proving peace is possible when people stand together.